Hello and aloha to all the Baha'is of the world, to the non-Baha'is, to all the people of the planet, the greeting. May all you have had a good day, and hopefully you would have better days in future. Time is 11:51. Today is 21st of September. My name is Abbas Tamori. I'm supposed to continue the third relationship that we have with the people as I started, but I have to interject this program with something that came up. I'm going to have a video that would have to be coming right about around the end of this program, but because of the circumstances I would have to respond to that. And that's basically about all these videos, my status as a Baha'i and my relationship with Universal House of Justice, and so on. It seems that the Baha'is that have been listening to these videos, or in the past, they have come to a two ways. It's either me or Universal House of Justice. It's either I'm right or they're wrong. Why is that? Is because they are repudiating and they're saying I'm not a Baha'i, I'm a covenant breaker, and a bunch of stuff. So this has caused a problem for a lot of Baha'is. They don't know what to do in between. I had this meeting with one of my best friends, and he brought the subject up. He said that I'm essentially not interested in the administration aspect of the Baha'i Faith. I know it is necessary, but it's not my forte. So he said, when I teach to the people, I'm not concentrating too much on the assemblies or this or that. I'm rather going into the spiritual teaching of Bab and Baha'u'llah and whatnot. But you are interested, he told me, Abbas, in this issue of guardianship and the whole, jazz. So he said, you're my best friend and I like to use you because you have so much knowledge, so much sincerity, so much understanding, so much wisdom, so much depth in the Baha'i Faith that I could use you in my teaching to the other Baha'is. But the problem I have is this subject of guardianship. It comes up and the Baha'is get confused, these new Baha'is. Even if you don't tell them anything, as soon as they go to the assembly and assembly says, oh, that man is a covenant breaker, and then they become all confused again at what's happening. So he said, this is a dilemma. How are you going to respond to this? Because as good as you are, you're causing some sort of a division in the Baha'i Faith, among the Baha'is anyways, because they don't know what to make out of you. Yes, you have a great understanding of a lot of things, but you're also bringing up these issues that I do not want even to know whether they're right or wrong. It's just not my forte. To me, he said, if there are many of these houses of justice and guardianships, this or that is not going to solve the problem. It's up to us. We people have to change, and if they're not changing, this matter goes on. He personally disagrees with the treatment of me, but at the same time, also, he's disinterested in what I say. He said, so what do I do? He said, what do I do with these Baha'is? If they come around on the YouTubes and they see you're talking and then they're asking me questions and I don't know what to tell them. Right. I remember the word of Shoghi effendi says, I hope the Baha'i Faith will be saved from the unwisdom of its followers. The followers of Baha'u'llah and Baha'i Faith, a lot of unwisdom is in them and they come to help. Oh boy, this has been the case in the faith in the beginning of all the religions. So, this is the basic aspect in the past 15 years, that it's either we accept you or Universal House of Justice. And a lot of them are they're very sympathetic about this issue, and they say, you know, like, you're putting us in certain situations that we don't know what to do. So some of them have found a solution that, you know what, we're going to let go of the Baha'i administrations altogether. We found nothing in it that is solving any problem, except causes the problem. So this is why I brought this up, to answer some of these questions regarding this issue, what to do at these circumstances, and bring some explanation to them fact. Well, I've come across, when my first website was there, more than 50,000 people have gone on that website, and there are a lot of questions asked me. And the questions are always is that universal laws of justice is the head of the Baha'is, and they have called you the enemy of Baha'i faith. They have excommunicated you. No one should talk to you. So how do we talk to you even, they say. So it's between you and universal laws of justice. Some others, they say that, how do you know yourself? Why do you call yourself a Baha'i? And also you say you believe in universal laws of justice, but universal laws of justice has excommunicated you. They don't believe in you, but you believe in them. What are you telling us? That we should follow universal laws of justice, that you yourself don't believe it, which is wrong, because I do believe in universal laws of justice. But they say universal laws of justice don't believe in you. Which I told them they don't have to. That's not why they are universal laws of justice. So others, they say that whenever we teach Baha'i faith, if we introduce your teachings and part of you into it, the Baha'is become confused, because they go to talk assembly, and assembly says a lot of stuff about you, which I brought some of it. I don't want to say I have become the mockery of these people. And so these are some of the concerns that they bring up. And of course, as I told you, some of them, they said that we are just eliminating this part and aspect of the Baha'i faith, which is about this administration and this teaching and whatnot. Okay, in the beginning, I have to tell you, trying to respond to these issues, Baha'u'llah says confusing people and bringing confusion among the believers is one of the biggest sins, as seriously he opposes people who confuse others. So, and then some of you are listening, they say that, well, Abbas, look at the mirror, you know, you are the center of confusion. Actually, I have not confused people. I've tried to solve the confusions by bringing these things up and solving the problem. The topic itself is confusing. I'll tell you that right now. Confusing is for those who never studied the faith, especially that deep into the matter of administration. But I've done it so far that, to me, matter is clear. But it takes time for the future to find out how clear this subject is. The first thing that we have to understand in the Baha'i faith, that I did, is to have differences of views in the Baha'i faith among the Baha'is as a part of the essential spiritual freedom of the people. This is the honor of an individual to be different from others. There's no conformity. But as long as these differences, they run parallel, not opposing each other, that would be perfect. Some interested in history, the other one interested in administration, they're running parallel, you know. These differences are okay. But they hit each other, two people have two different views over one subject, that is crisscross. In these cases, we have to be careful that it becomes the clashes of opinion, not clashes of the individual. The greatest meaning at this point of time, this junction in the history of life of the mankind among the Baha'is, to understand, in my opinion, is the detachment. What it means is to be detached from your opinion. Okay? Me, I have no opinion. I repudiate people to say that I have an opinion. My opinion is whatever is written in the book, whatever the science goes. Science goes this way, I go that way. Baha'i Faith goes that way, I go that way. I have no opinion. Okay? And if I have some conjecture or guesses here and there, go ahead, don't believe it. Just let me have my opinion. So, if there is a competition, there shouldn't be a competition. If there is a competition between me and Universal Laws of Justice, or between the Baha'is, it's all because of the effect of this goddamned civilization of the Western civilization, that the whole thing is based on the winners and the losers. That's it. The whole of this civilization is based on one winner and rest are the losers. This is why it is, because you feel these things. Abdul-Wahab clearly says, only from the clashes of the opinion the truth will sparkle out. You know, the truth will not come out to one of you. You have to clash the opinions. Just watch out that you don't clash to each other. Don't say to a person, I don't like you or hate you. I just say, I hate your opinion. I don't like your opinion. Don't say you. Because he's made by God, but his opinion is made by him. So, it's very difficult for people to understand that, especially in the religious aspect, that one can be in love with Baha'u'llah, obedient to him, and at the same time to have different opinion with him. People say, what? This is just like the fight between father and son. They love each other. When the time comes, they are with each other. But they have certainly difference of opinions. Okay? I have put God, the creator of this universe, under questions, lots of them. Even today, I don't disagree with a lot of things he does. I disagree with many things in the Baha'i Faith. With Baha'u'llah, I have disagreement with him. I have disagreement with Abdul-Wahab. I have disagreement with Bob. I have disagreement with Shoghi effendi. I have disagreement with Hands of the Cause of God. I have disagreement with Universal Laws of Justice. But I love them all. And I'm not going against their will. But I will remain different in my opinion. Why? Because I am an individual. If I have no disagreement between me and Baha'u'llah, then I must have become him. As long as I'm not him, then I do not understand him, then I will have not been able to understand and swallow and digest whatever he says. To be different and also in love is acceptable. It's the slogan of the Baha'i Faith. Unity in diversity. I remember when I was a kid and I said that Baha'u'llah says that when you marry, your father and mother, they have to agree with your marriage. I said, I can't accept it. This is going to give a permission to my mom and dad, especially my dad in my case, to totally exploit the situation. He says, I'm a Muslim, you're a Baha'i, you want to marry, boy? Okay, I will not agree with your marriage. He said that. My ex-wife's father had to go to my father personally to ask him, do you agree with the marriage of mine to my daughter? He said, I agreed to this boy to die, never mind his marriage. Because of Baha'u'llah pushed me towards the wall, this boy, that's me. So I didn't agree with Baha'u'llah on this. I married, when I got divorced, I understood he was right. Every time I disputed with him, he beat me. Nowadays, the situation is a little different. And these things has been around. I'm telling you that right now. Go back to Bible. Between the disciples, Paul and Peter are fighting with each other. It's well recorded in the Bible. Go read it for yourself. In Islam, there was the last Hajj of Muhammad going to Mecca. And he said, in this last one, I want all the ceremonies and everything, one to the point, have to be done. So it's clear that how it should be done. And one of the things is to bring the lamb, because that's what the Muslim, they bring the lamb, they sacrifice the meat and give it to the poor people. Originally, that's what it was. And guess who forgot to bring the lamb? His very successor, Imam Ali, forgot to bring the lamb. He said, well, you know, Muhammad just didn't want to talk to him. It's recorded in his Muslim books. I think Dr. Shariati has brought that up in his books. These things have been a lot of time, lots of something in the Baha'i Faith. We should not be baffled with these differences. Look at the Baha'i Faith. You all know about the conference of Badasht, where the followers of the Bab, they gathered in 3 gardens rented by Baha'u'llah. One was Baha'u'llah, one was Tahira, and the other ones were, you know, the believers. And Baha'u'llah becomes sick or something, and Tahira rushes to go see Baha'u'llah without hijab. My God, Muslim, they saw Tahira without hijab? She had still the scarf, but her face was not seen, like the new Taliban. They were all covered. But Tahira's face was right up. It was so hard, my dear friends, you do not understand it, that one of the believers cut his own neck. He said, I cannot see this. That action that day equal today, that the most holy being, I don't know, to come naked in the middle of the streets is exactly equal to that. Is that bad and unprecedented. The very second to the Bab, which his name is Qudus, the most holy, he took the sword right out to confront Tahira. Why did you do that? Tahira said, Qudus is a child. Bab has sent him to me to teach him. Tahira was older. It was about 35 or something. More than 30. Qudus was probably 22 years old. Baha'u'llah went in there and solved the problem. This is between them. Several times these things happened. In the Baha'i Faith we have many, many cases of it. So, do not be baffled. That's fine. That's fine to be different. So, I'll give you another example. It's really mind-boggling. Mr. Forutan, Hand of the Cause of God, he has written a memoir on certain events about the life of Baha'u'llah. I don't have the book around to quote for you. You can see it. Persian they call Hikayat-e-Dil or Secret of Heart or something in English. I think it's in English too, this book. So there, Baha'u'llah, a prisoner in exile in the city of Akka, he obviously doesn't have many things. I think few dignitaries are going to see him, whether they were from government or certain teachers. Baha'u'llah to have provided them with tea, certain, hospitality, and did not have samovar. Samovar is a Russian word for big pot of water. It's like a big thing that they fire or the coal underneath it, and it gets, the hot water becomes hot, and they had a tap, and then they drink, they get the hot water and mix the tea with it. Or they put the teapot on the top of it and brew the tea. Baha'u'llah wanted this. He sent the believers to go get it from certain guy who is a very, devout believers of Baha'u'llah. You know what he did? He said that, go say to Baha'u'llah, I'm not giving my samovar. The man was astonished. He said, Baha'u'llah, sure thing. He said, no, I'm not giving. He went to Baha'u'llah and said, Master, I couldn't get it. He didn't give it. He said, okay, this is a joke. Just go tell him I, Baha'u'llah, the manifestation of God, wants that. The guy come back and says, doesn't want to give it. Baha'u'llah says, you don't have too much time. Go get it. The man goes there and says, I have to get it no matter what. He tells him, okay, I'll give it to you. But tell to Baha'u'llah, now you see what I'm suffering from? Every time I pray to you to get something from you and you're not giving nothing to me. Now you see how I feel when you want something? Can you believe this story, guys? Very amazing, eh? It's not a joke. It just tells you this man who's a devout believer of Baha'u'llah actually prayed to Baha'u'llah to bring his wishes. And Baha'u'llah does not fulfill for a reason that he knows. This man obviously is dissatisfied with it. When it comes, he declined Baha'u'llah's wish. Yet he believes in him. He's the manifestation of God. He is the authority. But he yet declines. So, another big one was actually Baha'u'llah doesn't even curse this individual. His name is Sadiq Tabrizi. In Iran, after the Bab was executed by the government, a fellow by the name Sadiq even put some pellet into the gun and shot the king. Well, pellet doesn't kill him, kills a rabbit, maybe not a king, not a man. It was accurate, the shot, but it never killed him. It just was into his meat or something. But because of that, so many Baha'is died, including Tahir, including Suleiman Khan. Baha'u'llah was arrested. He puts in Siyajal, all because of the act of this man. Baha'u'llah say, may God forgive him, but you see his act, what he did. So sometimes this disagreement goes too far, as was in the case of Sadiq Tabrizi. Okay? Because it's not exactly according to the writing. There was another time that Baha'u'llah was suffering in Akka so much because of his stepbrother and his relative that they had newspaper in Istanbul, Turkey, just printing all kind of lies and blasphemous lies about Baha'u'llah. They said Baha'u'llah is propagating prostitution. You cannot understand how much Baha'u'llah was angry with this. He says in one writing that God, between me and him is the sword. Unless I kill him, I will not quench my heart. To Baha'u'llah you say that, you know. Oh my God. So, and they will keep causing problem. Every time believers, they want to come to see Baha'u'llah, these guys cause problem. These believers maybe 6 months on the road to come to see Baha'u'llah in Akka, and they would create problem between the authorities and them, and finally these poor souls, they couldn't see Baha'u'llah. And some of the Baha'is, God forgive us from this kind of a situation, because I don't know what would I do if I seen those things. They decided to kill this Muhammad Ali Isfahani and another Kashi guy. They went and just basically killed them. The news goes to Baha'u'llah. My God, that is where Baha'u'llah reveals that fire tablets. That what do I do, God? These are my best believers, but they just go on their own. They don't listen to what I do. Baha'u'llah actually got arrested within the jail itself. They told him that, you know, you've caused this, and Baha'u'llah was interrogated and all that. And he said that I'm not responsible for this. They are my followers, but they've gone on their own, not by me. So, we are okay to disagree. Yes, my dear friends. Shoghi effendi says human right, so important. Abdul Baha says is the essential part of the faith is to have the freedom of an individual in his conscience. He has the freedom of expression, he says. Okay? But he shouldn't act upon it, he says, because that's different. And that should be in a, you know, well-mannered way. But you could disagree. So, because if I do not disagree with something that I do not understand, and I don't say it, this is wrong, well, then I don't exist. You know, then God, why did He give me thinking? Why does He say that I have to recognize Baha'u'llah? I have to think, and my thinking comes to this point. that this and that is not right. It's okay, my dear friends, to think differently. Baha'i Faith is one, but we're all around it. They asked Bob how many ways to God. He says as many as there are people. That means every one of us is unique. Baha'i Faith is that mud in the center. We're all trying to sculpt our own pictures. We have our own views. But at the end of the day, there is an essential, very, very essential, very, very skeletal work of the belief that we have. Because of that, we're Baha'is. That's it. Baha'i in the opinion. Baha'i ideology is to believe in Bab as the manifestation of God, elder of God, the forerunner of Baha'u'llah. Baha'u'llah is the manifestation of God and fulfillment of all the religions of the past. A manifestation none like it has ever been in the earth. The first global and universal manifestation is that Abdul Baha is indisputable successor and interpreter of the faith. That Shoghi effendi is the successor of Baha'u'llah after Abdul Baha. Is the indisputable interpreter of the writing of Baha'u'llah. And the Baha'i World Order, which at this time we call it Baha'i Administration, headed by Universal Laws of Justice, made in 1963 by the hands of the cause in Israel and its subsidiary institutionality. This is Baha'i Faith. If somebody doesn't believe in Bab or Baha'u'llah or Abdul Baha or Shoghi effendi or Universal Laws of Justice, he is outside of the Baha'i Faith. We still respect him, we still like him, we have no qualm with anyone. But if he asks us, we tell him that taking these five, any one of them out, one cannot say that he is following the Baha'i doctrine. But who is Baha'u'llah? As many ways as you can think about it. Some can think he's God, some can think he's manifestation. Abdul Baha, Baha'u'llah says if two of you are disputing over the issue, both of you are wrong. Abdul Baha says that Baha'is, they don't get along. And they create two universal laws of justice. Not that they are against Bab, Baha'u'llah or Abdul Baha or against the writing. Just simply says that we are Iranian, we don't like American, we want to create our own assemblies, and they are their own assemblies, they create their own national universal, and these guys are going, Abdul Baha says they're both wrong. It can't be two universal laws of justice to be one. And at the moment there are not two universal laws of justice. There are some institutions claiming to be universal laws of justice. They are again outside of the faith, because the procedure is that the local assemblies have to send delegates to institute the National Spiritual Assembly, and they have to send their delegates to institute the universal laws of justice. That's the procedures, okay? And even if that procedure exactly is followed, and there are two of them in the world, they're both wrong. So we have to be within the framework, okay? But the dispute and disagreement is fine, okay? Because I cannot understand God in everywhere. If I did, I would have become God myself. So what do I want to do? I want to shut people down and shut them up and say, don't talk? Where are we going if we think somebody thinks differently about Baha'u'llah or universal laws of justice? Okay? So we have to go back and become a little bit more clear about this issue. I think, so the difference of the opinion, as I said, is allowed, but how do we deal with it and how we handle it, that's where it comes, is the technique that we have to use. The first technique is that, although you don't understand the writing, you have to follow and obey it. Because I told you, the writing of Baha'u'llah and the Baha'i Faith is more like a prescriptions. It may not be understandable, okay? But you have to take it if you want to become, fixed, okay? I can't even remember the name of the antibiotic that was attached to my body for a month and a half in order to kill all my germs. I don't know what it is, but I'm not coming to fight with Dr. Ginsburg and tell him that I don't need it. What is it that I'm taking? I already know this man is qualified. I already know Baha'u'llah is the manifestation of God. It matters clear to me. Okay, I got that. Now Baha'u'llah asks me a lot of things, I don't understand it. So I have to obey it, but I could, in bottom of my heart, to say, God, I disagree with you, and you think about it and go on, and finally you find it, you know. That's how you grow, okay? Because we know He's bigger than us, simply, and we cannot understand everything. But to shut up and don't say nothing, Baha'u'llah isn't like that at all. That's why it says unity and diversity. So when it comes to these four figures, the Bab, Baha'u'llah, Abdul Baha, Shoghi, Effendi, there is no realm of dispute and disobedience with them. There's no condition. Baha'u'llah doesn't have any condition